Good morning and welcome to SimWorld today here on this August 7th. I'm happy to be back. Appreciate both B-Ron and Siege stepping into the host chair on Monday and Tuesday of this week, keeping this show rolling along. But happy to be back and happy to be joined as we are every Wednesday by J.K. Candell. Good morning, Jason. How are you?
I'm great, Marsh. It's nice to be back, but it's nice to have you back. Welcome back. Glad everything is going well where you are.
Thank you. Yep, no need for any drama. We're just back on a Wednesday. That's all it is. Let's kick off where there's no drama around Team USA over in Paris as they steamroll their way to a 122-87 victory over Brazil that pushes them on to the Olympic semifinals where they get a rematch with Serbia and a chance to go back to the gold medal game. JK, your takeaways from another Team USA blowout.
Let's be real here. I think this team can sleepwalk their way to this gold medal. Canada was taken out by France, I thought Canada was their biggest competition, but France and Germany are no slouch. They have a lot of talent, but no team in this Olympics has the level of talent that this USA team does. Let's be real here. They honestly could sleepwalk their way to a gold medal. Devin Booker, 18 points, looked incredible yesterday. A new players can step up every single game. Joel Embiid's struggled immensely this entire Olympics, and they're still looking incredible. Kevin Durant's out here breaking records. The storylines are endless with this team, Marsh.
Oh, you're right. There's no breaking news that it's a sleepwalk to a potential final. I don't know that Canada was their greatest competition. I think France, with their size inside, is going to be dangerous. And then you've got Germany, who's now the reigning World Cup champions. They are one win away from getting back to a chance to do that all over again. I don't want to discredit either of those things, but again, this has been a Team USA team that is put their finger on the right buttons at the right times to move this thing along. And they did not need to play well in exhibition games, and it honestly didn't matter. And anyone that felt otherwise was probably just misguided in their approach. But here they are just kind of steamrolling. No game has really been all that competitive. No game has been all that dramatic. At this point, the biggest drama around this team is that Kevin Durant comes off the bench, that Jason Tatum didn't play in the first game of the Olympics. It's that Joel Embiid has had struggles. When those are your main storylines around a team that's trying to win a gold medal, you're going to be in pretty good shape. They take Serbia on Thursday. Both of the semifinals are on Thursday, and I believe the gold medal matches are on Saturday. They are on this coming up Saturday, the 10th. So, plenty of activity. We'll keep an eye on that as it keeps rolling on. Where we will be keeping an eye on no longer is the Lauri Markkanen trade rumors, because he is expected to agree to a contract extension that will essentially make him untradeable for this 2024-2025 season. He was eligible to sign an extension yesterday, August 6th. Had he done that, the 6-month period of which he could not be traded would have conveniently ended on the trade deadline. By waiting until today, August 7th, which I believe is what he's doing, he cannot be traded for, again, 6 months. That pushes him past the trade deadline and officially out of trade rumors. So, JK, your take on this from any way you want to take it, whether that's Utah or Golden State side.
I think that this is a very bizarre move. I think the idea of signing Lauri Markkanen into an extension is a good basketball move, but I don't understand why you didn't sign him yesterday when there was potential to move him at the deadline and to get a haul of assets from a team like Golden State that's trying to compete in the Western Conference. I really like what Utah did in the SWBA draft. I really like Cody Williams. I really like Kyle Filipowski, and I really like Isaiah Collier. But I think Lauri's days were numbered in Utah. I think a team like Golden State or another team that's looking to establish themselves as competitors in the SWBA next season really could have used Lauri Markkanen. So why are you not calling Utah up when they're clearly open for business and trying to make that move? I think that's kind of a misguided attempt on Golden State's part, because he's a guy that would fit in so well there with what they're trying to build.
Okay, Golden State was calling him up. Utah didn't want to trade him. And Lauri Markkanen clearly didn't want to be traded either. And it's just why they waited until today. This isn't as if these guys let the date. I mean, they had months knowing what day he was eligible to sign a 5-year, $200 million plus deal. They knew exactly what they were doing. And this is because they didn't want to trade him. And that's what all the reporting has been on this, is that the Utah Jazz, if they got blown away by an offer, which is the status quo for Danny Ainge, he does not want to make a deal unless he is the winner of said deal. They don't want to trade a 27-year-old all-star in his prime that is coveted by other teams because that's the type of guy they need. Are they going to be good? No, they're not. It's an odd move. It's an odd reasoning for both Utah to not want to trade him and for Lauri Markkanen to want to stay in Utah. It's an odd move in that instance, but from a why didn't they do it? Because they don't want to. The Utah Jazz were asking for heaven and earth from the Golden State Warriors, who were the most aggressive pursuers of Markkanen. And they said no. They wanted everything from Golden State. They threw everything at him that they were willing to give up. Everything that's been reported is that it was Jonathan Kuminga plus Brandon Pajemski plus all their picks. That's not what Golden State wants to
It's
give up.
not worth
You
it
do
for
that,
Golden State, absolutely.
exactly. So this isn't a matter of why didn't the Utah Jazz do it? Because they don't want to. It's why they were asking for so much. It's why both sides waited until today to officially make this deal so he can't be traded, so that we don't have talking heads all season long saying, well, I wonder if they'll move Lauri now. I wonder if they'll move Lauri now. That would be the circulating conversation. He effectively has a no-trade clause for the upcoming SWBA season.
My question is, could he get moved next offseason?
Sure, he could.
I think
That's
how
not the
real is that
concern.
possibility, though?
I do not have Danny Ainge's phone number, so I guess I can't answer that question. But that's so far down the line. The reason that Markkanen was so interesting to people, particularly the Golden State Warriors, is because he's the only player of any significant value and skill set that's available on the market this summer, right? In theory, everybody's available, sure. But he was the only one that was actually tradable, especially for the dollar amount that he was making. $18 million puts everybody in play to be able to put together a deal to get him. Now with this 5-year extension, he's going to have so much money on that deal that it's going to be a lot more challenging next offseason for teams to put together deals. If you're talking about Golden State doing Moses Moody, Brandon Pajemski, and Jonathan Kuminga, 3 guys who make no more than individually $9 million apiece, that type of deal doesn't get you to a Paul George level contract, which is similar, not exactly, but it will be similar to what Lauri Markkanen is walking into. That's going to be the challenge now, is finding the finances to make it all fit. And I don't want to hear the argument that Brandon Ingram and Zach LaVine are good players on the market, because they're not. Let's head to SimWorld U, where we continue our jaunt around the league, and I'm curious to talk Pac-12 favorites. Plenty of good teams out there. We talked a little bit about the Big Ten a couple weeks ago, JK. Who do you think, in your opinion, and why, are the Pac-12 favorites coming in to SimWorld U Season 3?
No hesitation in my mind. It is 100% the Arizona Wildcats. Is bringing in Zane Davis and Corey Yams, 2 very strong standout potential freshmen. You got Juan Valentine. You got Khalil Erickson, and you have Theophilus Hilton, who in last year's March Madness basketball bedlam was incredible. This is a really strong, deep team. Tommy Lloyd is an incredible coach, and I really like what's being built down in U of A. However, I can't not mention UCLA with Jalen Snow. Jalen Snow is one of the best players in SimWorld U. I really like the USC duo of Gabe Pope and J-Mo, but I think it's Arizona's conference to lose. That team is light years better than any other team in that conference.
Ew. JK, I could understand the argument of saying that you think they're the best. Light years better when Jalen Snow was a top recruit, when LaGerald Carroll was a top recruit 2 seasons ago, and they're both coming in for their second seasons at UCLA. I'm not going to fault you for thinking Arizona can win it. They had a very good season last year. But they also got beat by Utah in the first round of the Pac-12 playoffs. They did not win their conference. They weren't even the number 1 seed in their conference. And I think, as great as I think Corey Yams is, I do not think he is a difference maker on the same level as guys like JJ Ortega, even like Jalen Snow, and of course, likely Gerald Carroll. This is a really good basketball team in UCLA. And I do not think that Arizona is heading shoulders above them. I would take UCLA as the favorite in that conference because of all that they've done. But to just say it's light years ahead, that is just not a statement I think I could even remotely see the avenue for. I mean, it's a good Arizona team, but
Very
they
good
didn't
Arizona team.
but they didn't add any elite players in the same way that UCLA has done over the last two recruiting cycles.
I like what UCLA is building. I really like Jalen Snow. I really like what Gerald Carroll. I think that those are the top two teams to beat in the Pac-12. But I want to talk about a team that I think is flying quite under the
hold
radar.
on. I want to hear more
conference.
about. No, I don't care about a flying under the radar team. How is Arizona, who again has not had any light year caliber recruits, suddenly light years better than UCLA, who has
Did you
Jalen
see the way
Snow?
Theophilus Hilton performed in
I
March
did.
last season?
I did.
He
I
was
also saw the
incredible.
way that Jalen Snow performed in Basketball Bedlam last season, and LeGerald Carroll. It just to say it's light years better, J.K. It's just not. It's just not it. I don't have a great analogy to throw at you because that's just not the case. They are not light years better than UCLA.
I think they're clearly better. I think they're the best team in the conference. I think those are the clear top two. And then it can shake out any other way behind them. Oregon, Colorado are decent squads, USC. But I think Arizona, if they don't win the Pac-12 this season, I would be quite surprised.
Well, there you have it. Quite surprised from a light years better Arizona team. Again, I'm not saying Arizona's not good. I agree with that statement that they are a good basketball team. They did make it to the Sweet 16 before they lost to Alabama. They were a 2 seed in basketball bedlam in their region. I'm not saying they aren't a good basketball team, but light years better for a team that did not win their conference championship last season, that was not the number 1 seed in their conference last season. I think that is where I would say, I don't know that I 100% can get on board with it. All right, that's our show here on this Wednesday. We're coming back tomorrow. Plenty more to talk about across the sporting spectrum as we have some preseason football games on the horizon. We'll continue to keep tabs on everything going on, both on and off the field in the SWFL. All right. Thank you. Oh, and we also have some, of course, basketball coming up this weekend here at SimWorld Prep. Plenty of our number of our off-season tournaments coming up on the horizon, and the first one coming up here this weekend. King of the Court Showcase that starts on Friday, rolls through. We've got Trade Jam SummerSlam on Friday. We've got the Best Coast Elite Showcase, the Alien Star Showcase. I mean, we are just an active group this weekend in the SimWorld Prep off-season summer. So we will be previewing some of that coming up, as well as obviously next week recapping it all. JK, thanks for joining us. We're back tomorrow on SimWorld Today on SimWorld TV, the only place you can see the game, be the game.
This has been a presentation of SimWorld Sports.